Hey everybody, Neil from Aviator Q. I'd like to welcome you back to another episode. Today we got a real treat for you today. We've got a brisket flat that we're going to be smoking up on the Weber Kettle. After it's all said and done, we're going to be shredding it up and making some pulled brisket sandwiches, so stick around. Should be good to watch. Everyone, welcome back. So where we're at right now, we've already got the brisket pulled up. We trimmed it up just a little bit, left what fat cap was on. Got it from Costco. They did a pretty good job with the trimming, really, so all we really did was take off the rough edges. Got it seasoned up with a little bit of Kosmos Q's product. We're doing cow cover, dirty bird hot, and a little bit of Texas beef right at the end as a finish. It's got a little bit of, Texas beef has a little bit of sugar in it to help give us a nice crust and kind of that browning caramelization that we're looking for. If you've never seen Cosmos products, that's what we're working with. The cow cover, dirty bird hot, and the Texas beef. It's a great line of products. I really like them. Absolutely love this stuff on steak, any kind of beef. I'm really happy with their product right now. So we just got the basic flat. If you guys can see that, I've kind of layered them up. Did cow cover on the bottom and Texas beef on top. And did both sides. We'll be cooking it fat cap down, and going to be doing it over the Weber Kettle. We'll head out there, get the grill fired up, and get it going. All right, guys. So got a quick couple tips here. If you're just getting into smoking, or you don't have a smoker already, and you're just kind of wanting to dabble in it, the Weber Smoky Mountain is a great way to start. It's a great grill, first of all, but it's so versatile you can actually really set it up, play around with a little bit of smoking. First thing you want to do before you really get into it, you want to, once everything's on top of the kettle, you can't really see where the vents are. You probably can't see it from the zoom angle here, but the lever that adjusts the where your vents are, you want to take a little bit of time. I took a Sharpie and I've actually marked where it's closed, a quarter, a half, and full. That way, once everything's on top of it, you know, you'll be able to make some adjustments and know exactly where the dampers are. Some other things that you might want to hey Bree, a couple of things you might want to invest into is a charcoal basket. Makes things a little bit easier for you. So what we've got here, we've got our charcoal basket here. This is a great little thing. Keeps the charcoal kind of all stacked on top of each other. Will make it really be able to keep it really heated up and burn efficiently. The other thing you might want to consider is getting just an aluminum pan. That's going to be my water pan. I believe that's I believe it's a 9x12. Just had some water in it. Helps with the cooking process. So with that said, the only other little tip that I recommend is for starting the charcoal. We've got a typical charcoal chimney there, but it turns upside down, and I've got one of these little paraffin wax cubes made by Weber. I'm just going to put that right there in the end. I'll fill the rest with charcoal, and then that really limits how much charcoal I have, because for smoking you don't want a whole lot lit. You kind of want to light them off of each other. But you'll see that here in a second, and we'll get it going up. All right, the charcoal's lit, so we're gonna get it into the charcoal basket, place the water pan, great, and then we're gonna put some hickory on the top of the charcoal basket. We're gonna put one right over the lit coals and one over the unlit coals. As the coals kind of burn over, it'll let the second piece get a little bit longer smoke. The thing with the basket is it's not a lot of charcoal in there, so you babysit it a little bit more. Have to add a little bit of charcoal as it starts to burn down, based on temperature like that. So we'll get the charcoal on there, get everything going, and then it's time for the meat. So all I'm going to do is just get the lit charcoal on one end of the basket, and as it touches the other charcoal, it'll start to light off. I'm going to put one piece of wood right on top of the already lit charcoal and the other on the unlit. Put my basket right here beside it. Get the grate on. Now, depending on the Weber grill that you buy, If you buy the grill with the temperature gauge on top, it comes standard with this basket with the flange. If not, you can buy it. You can buy it additionally. It's just a Weber accessory at any hardware store. But what you want to do is you want to place it where that basket opens over the grill, so when it's time, you can add more charcoal. So we got everything set up. The grill grate's already cleaned from the last time I used it. The only other thing is we're gonna get the temperature probe onto the grate. I kind of like to know what my what the grate is, not necessarily what temperature's coming out. And we're gonna feed it through the top, and we're good to go. All we need now is the meat. So stick around. All right, folks, the meat's had a chance to sweat. We're ready to get the meat on. So this time we're just gonna pull the lid off and get the meat on. I want to place it kind of right over the water pan, that way any moisture separating will it'll help keep the meat moisturized, nice and juicy and tender. I'll adjust that just a little bit there, and we are good to go. All right, it's been about 3 hours and 45 minutes. Brisket's coming along nicely. It's got that nice mahogany color that we're looking for. Usually, generally about 3 hours is what I want to go, but I got a little busy with some stuff outside, so it's been on a little bit longer. About this time, we're going to wrap it up. So what I'm going to do this time, since we're making pulled brisket, I want some extra juice. I'm going to make put a brisket mop in there. For my brisket mop, again, we're using Kosmos again. The Kosmos Q brisket mop. If you guys have never used this, it's amazing stuff. Smells amazing. When you use it, depending on the size of the brisket, half a bottle, third of a bottle. I've got about, I don't know, a fourth. It's what's left from Easter. You can mix that with distilled water. Normally I'll use like a beef consomme, a can of Campbell's beef consomme. Leftover from Easter as well, my old friend Natty Light came to visit, so we're gonna mix that in with it, try to get rid of it. So you just take a shaker bottle and come down a little bit closer to the workspace. Now I'm just gonna dump what's left of the bottle in. Beer in there. You put a little bit in the bottle, swirl it around, get the last little bit out. Just give it a shake. Figures. So with this is beer, I'm gonna stir a little gentler. I don't want it to really foam up, but once that's mixed in together, we'll set that aside. I'm gonna wrap the brisket now. So what we're gonna do, I always like to put a little bit more seasoning down, just on the top coat. So we'll put a little bit more cow cover, a little bit of Dirty Bird, and then we will lay that brisket right in the middle. Now we're going to start the wrapping process, and I'm just going to leave one end open, just so I can make sure that I can get that brisket knocked in there. And this is just the heavy duty aluminum foil. Leave that last little bit just like that. Kind of turn it up. Beer's got a little bit of carbonation. And we're just going to pour that in there. the whole thing. And we'll seal it up. I already see a little bit coming out, so let's flip the second. That's what the second foil's for. And we'll just seal the sides. Alrighty, and there we go. Alright, it's been right at about 5.5 hours of cook time. I just pulled back the aluminum foil. We're going to temp it, see what we got. 209. About 209, 210. It feels pretty consistent. I think we're going to call that a cook. We'll let it sit, sit and rest for about 20-30 minutes. Kind of let all the juices reabsorb into themselves, and then we'll shred it apart, and we'll show you that in about 30-40 minutes. All right, the brisket's been resting for about 45-50 minutes now. Going to take that out of the tin foil, going to put it in a bowl, going to shred it. You guys seen that before? I don't need to show you that. What I do want to do is show you what I kind of do with that brisket mop that we talked about earlier. So we're just going to get to the meat here. Smells amazing. Just gonna get this out very gently because I don't want to poke a hole in the tin foil. Set that in there. Now the other thing, this is my strainer. It's got a drain spout with a low entry, so it'll like block the oil once it settles in. So all I do is just kind of bend the aluminum foil to make a spout there, like that. And then from there you just kind of pour it in. Set this on top just to catch any spillage.
Tomorrow I ran out. Gotta make more.
I'm filming. Alright, so we just pour that in there and let that settle. All the oil will go to the top, and then we'll reintroduce it once it separates and once it's shredded. We'll be back when we make the sandwich. Alright, the beef's all been shredded. Just kind of got it shredded into a bowl here. I like to take a little bit more seasoning right before I toss it. Just kind of toss it a little bit more seasoning just so it gets all the way around everywhere. That's the Dirty Bird Hot in the Cow cover. And then I'm going to hit it with just the rest of the au jus. And just pour until you start to see the oil, which is about right there. And then I'm just going to give it a toss. Just kind of just work it in. Once it's all mixed in, I'll just cover it. I'll let it simmer for a little bit. And then we will toast the buns and be ready to build the sandwiches. Alright guys, so we've got everything plated up. We're getting ready to build the sandwich here. So just a quick recap, we had the brisket. It was just the brisket flat. We trimmed it, we seasoned it, we smoked it on the Weber Kettle. Earlier in the video I called it the Weber Smoky Mountain. I caught that when I was editing. It's the Weber Kettle. We smoked it for 5.5 hours at the temperature around 270, 280. It was kind of fluctuating on most of the day. Then we pulled it off. We let it rest for about 45-50 minutes. We shredded it. I seasoned it again with just a little bit more season so it got kind of full. And then we dumped the au jus that we made off the brisket mop onto it, mixed it all up. And we got some Kaiser rolls, toasted those up, and now we're just ready to build the sandwich. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna start off. Some people I've seen people do aioli. I've just got it plain. Gonna just build a nice sandwich here. Drop it nice and high. Pat it in there. We're gonna use a little bit of the Kosmos Q original competition sauce. We're just gonna drizzle it on top there. And then we're gonna cover it with some slaw. Now this is the broccoli slaw. I'm not a big cabbage slaw guy, but I love the broccoli slaw. So we'll just kind of top that. Top it up. Give her a cut and see what we got. There we go, and that's our pulled brisket sandwich. Give it a taste, see what we got. That's really good. It's a really good sandwich. You can taste the spices. The barbecue sauce is a nice finish. Overall, pretty good sandwich. It's a kind of nice play on a different thing we can do with brisket. If you like this video, please smash that subscribe for us. It's a new channel. We're still trying to get it off. Like I said, we're not perfect, but we're trying, and we love barbecue. So we appreciate you watching. We'll check us out next time. Thanks.